Just ahead on CTV News, well, it's official. The port is ready for business. Plus,
take a look behind me here. That's the former Governor Larry Hogan. We'll tell you why he's in Prince George's County coming up. Stay tuned.
And meet a Bowie resident who turned a personal tragedy into triumph. All those stories and more coming up next on CTV News. Good evening. This is CTV News for June 12th. I'm Gina Barty.
And I'm Katara Jones. Thanks for joining us. The debris is gone, and now the shipping channel into the Port of Baltimore has reopened. The Fort McHenry shipping channel reopened earlier this week to shipping traffic.
The opening comes more than 2 months after the container ship known as Dolly crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge back on March 26. Governor Westmore, along with federal, state, and local leaders, gathered to recognize the full opening of the Port of Baltimore today.
This has been a truly unified effort. And I remember that morning, on March 26th, the only certainty was uncertainty. And many said it would take multiple months for us to get to this point. Some said even up to a year. Well, Maryland, this team did the unimaginable by many. And instead of 11 months, we got this thing done in 11 weeks.
Crews were able to remove 50,000 tons of bridge wreckage from the water.
Metro hasn't turned in critical documents to an oversight commission. According to reports, WMATA has not submitted safety-related documents to the Washington Metro Rail Safety Commission. The commission recently sent a subpoena to the transit agency for not turning in the requested paperwork. Reports indicate that Metro was given an extension of May 31st to submit the documents, but still has not complied. Congress created the commission to oversee Metro rail safety. Lawyers from the commission and Metro are expected to meet sometime today.
Park police have released images of 2 suspects that broke into the sports and learning complex and stole the ATM machine. It happened on June 7th around 1:30 in the morning. Take a look at your screen. The 2 suspects are thought to be males, both wearing black jackets, ski masks, black pants, and black shoes. Anyone with information is asked to call 301-459-9088. Meantime, there has been 67 ATM robberies or attempted robberies in Prince George's so far this year. They have happened in Landover Hills, Fort Washington, Laurel, Hyattsville, Bowie, and Suitland. Suspects have been able to attach chains to drag the ATMs away and even using the jaws of life to get inside of the machines.
With the jaws of life, that has been a recent strategy. The other things that we have seen in the past is hook and chain, which where they're dragging ATMs or smash and grab ATMs. So in regards to these, this is the jaws of life is a newer trend, but like any of these trends, we designate, like I said earlier, a team of officers, and we tirelessly pursue the individuals involved with these cases. And just even when we make an arrest with this, we're going to still continue our cases. We're going to still continue to look to apprehend all those involved and all those involved in future cases also.
EBA encourages everyone with information on any ATM theft to call Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS. Last year, there were 140 ATM robberies or attempted robberies. Looking to make inroads with Hispanic residents, former Governor Larry Hogan stopped by some local Latino businesses in Hyattsville today.
Byron Scott reports on Hogan's bid for a U.S. Senate seat.
Every single day we're somewhere.
Send a message to Washington, the inference being that he, Larry Hogan, is the message.
Well, welcome to Centro de Habla Hispana. We're delighted to have you.
The former governor at University Plaza in Hyattsville today to talk with Latino business owners about their concerns.
You just have to learn how to say, yo trabajo para todos. I will work for everyone.
That's a good one.
The first stop was Centro de Habla España, a company that provides a variety of immigrant services.
We are so excited that you're here. We're actually a small business in PG County. We have been here for 17 years.
Hogan, hoping his 8 years in Annapolis is his ticket to a U.S. Senate seat.
You know, I was really enjoying being out of office, but I miss being able to help people, and I just became really frustrated. Things seemed to be so broken. I didn't really need a job or a title, but I felt like I could make a difference, and if I didn't step up, I would probably regret it.
The former governor remains popular with voters.
That's all there is to it.
So too does his Democratic opponent, Angela Alsobrooks.
I like her. We worked together well while I was governor. Well, we're different on a lot of the issues, and you know, we're going to have a respectful campaign debate. We're going to talk about the things that I stand for and she stands for. But I think, you know, on things like on economic and tax policy, we probably disagree. I'm all about cutting taxes and growing the economy and putting people to work.
The second business Hogan stopped by was a restaurant as part of his strong independent leadership tour.
So we're taking our campaign to the people. I'm running like I'm 20 points down, just like I did in 2014. I'm talking to everybody in every community and listen to them, and I think, you know, we've earned the trust of people after almost a decade.
You can ask about anything, by the way.
A poll conducted by the nonpartisan Real Clear Politics has Hogan at 46.5% to Alsobrooks 40%.
If you're happy with what's going on in Washington, and then probably won't vote for me. But if people are frustrated and fed up, they want to see some changes, and I'm exactly the kind of person you need to send down there.
In Hyattsville, Byron Scott, CTV News.
A new proposal aimed to prohibit medical bills from being included in credit report plans to end medical debt for all Americans. The Vice President and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau Director made the announcement yesterday and called for states, local governments, and healthcare providers to also take action in reducing medical debt. The proposal will help to increase credit scores and mortgage approval rates across the nation. Funds from the American Rescue Plan will also be used to eliminate $7 billion in medical debt by the end of 2026.
A multi-vehicle crash leaves a motorcyclist dead last night in Rosaryville. The fatal crash occurred at 9:45 p.m. at the intersection of Woodyard Road and Perrywood Road. The adult male who operated the motorcycle was pronounced dead on the scene. The drivers and the passengers of both the sedans involved in the crash remained on the scene and did not suffer any injuries. Anyone with information is asked to contact PG Crime Solvers online or submit a tip using P3 Tips.
The Maryland National Capital Park Police are investigating a disturbing discovery in College Park. A noose was found in a wooded area next to the Paint Branch Trail on June 2nd. When police arrived, they found a yellow rope with a noose knot. The rope has since been removed from the area. The popular trail is located near the College Park Community Center. The incident is still under investigation. And you're watching CTV News. Still to come.
A well-known pharmaceutical company reaches a multi-million-dollar settlement. We'll have that story for you after the break.
Hi, I'm Gina Torres. Whether I'm working on a TV series or a feature film, my philosophy is be ready, stay ready. So taking care of my health is a must. This includes making sure I know what my LDL-C, or bad cholesterol, level is. I watch my own parents struggle with high cholesterol, a struggle faced by so many Hispanic Americans. We are more likely than others to have dangerous conditions like high LDL cholesterol. And high LDL cholesterol can increase your risk for heart attack and stroke. The good news? You can take steps to lower your LDL-C. Of course, a heart-healthy diet and regular exercise are a great start, but that's not always enough. Talk to your doctor about getting your LDL cholesterol tested and know your number so you can be in control of your health. Check out this website for more information.
Today, 1 in 5 working-age Americans has a mental health condition.
People in all types of jobs and at all levels.
And the key to helping us succeed is a supportive and inclusive workplace.
All of us have a role to play in making that happen.
So what can I do to help?
As a CEO, I can set the tone for supportive culture.
As a manager, I can offer assistance and accommodations.
As a coworker, I can listen and be a source of support to my colleagues.
As someone with a mental health condition, I can ask for what I need to perform my best.
I can offer all employees the supports they need to deliver on the job. For the team
and for the business.
What can I do?
What can I do?
What can I do?
I can remind others
that we all benefit from workplaces that promote good mental health.
Mental health-friendly workplaces are more important than ever.
And all of us have a role to play in promoting them.
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
A Laurel man has been sentenced to 37 years in prison for conspiring to steal and export cars to Africa. 30-year-old Rodley Balvazar is a Haitian citizen living in Maryland. According to the Maryland U.S. Attorney's Office, Balvazar was part of a group using false paperwork to steal cars from rental companies like Avis and Hertz and send them to West Africa. Law enforcement says more than 40 cars were exported to or attempted to be exported by the group.
Firefighters from 4 firehouses around the county will be reassigned to address the ongoing staffing shortages. County Fire Chief Tiffany Green sent a memo to fire department staff saying short-term solutions to address critical staffing shortages are necessary. The impacted firehouses are Bunker Hill, Greenbelt, Bowie Blair, and Berwyn Heights, and career firefighters from those locations will also be moved to areas seeing significant shortages. Chief Green says the change will be temporary and is set to start at the end of the month.
Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown and 13 other attorney generals are advocating for federal rules that would make the public housing screening process less discriminatory. The coalition is asking the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to adopt standardized federal rules for screening people with criminal records that apply for public housing. The coalition says the proposed rule would enforce a 3-year look-back policy so that only recent and pertinent criminal activities are reviewed. It also proposes banning denying housing solely based on arrest records.
Attorney General Anthony Brown announced yesterday that he and 42 other attorney generals reached a $700 million settlement against pharmaceutical company Johnson & Johnson. The suit alleges that Johnson & Johnson and its subsidiaries deceptively promoted talc-based Johnson's baby powder and shower-to-shower products, misleading consumers in advertisements related to the safety of these products. Breathing in talcum powder can lead to very serious lung problems and even death. As part of the settlement, Johnson & Johnson has agreed not to manufacture, sell, distribute, or promote its talc-based baby, body, and cosmetic products in the U.S.
Well, last night, the Montgomery County Board of Education adopted a $3.32 billion operating budget for the upcoming fiscal year. The acceptance of the budget left the school system with a $30 million deficit. Last Monday, the school district announced that it would be shutting down their virtual academy due to the budget constraints, leaving around 800 students in limbo. The budget cuts would also lead to increased class sizes and a delay of expanding the county's pre-K program.
Tacoma Park police officers are writing dozens of tickets to children, but it's not exactly what you think.
The tickets are being issued for good deeds. The program is called Operation Chill. Now, here's how it works. Anytime an officer sees a kid making good decisions, being kind, and doing the right thing, they will issue them a ticket.
Offenses might include helping others, deterring crime, practicing safety like wearing a helmet when riding a bike, or just having a pleasant conversation with an officer. The reward is a refreshing summer favorite, a Slurpee from 7-Eleven.
Our Chief Duvall, talks a lot about having your first interaction with a police officer be a positive one. So if by getting a Slurpee coupon from a police officer in Tacoma Park is the first time you've had an interaction with a police officer, that's a positive thing. You're always going to remember the first time you met that police officer and he gave you that Slurpee coupon to go do something nice. You don't want your first interaction to be maybe something wrong happened and then it was a bad interaction. So our chief always talks about those first impressions and first interactions with our police officers. We want them to be good with our youth.
Operation Chill was started by 7-Eleven in 1995 to give officers a positive way to interact with the youth in the community. To date, more than 24 million tickets have been issued across the country.
Oh my goodness.
That's some good stuff. Still to come on CTV News.
A state lab mishandles millions of funds. Find out how after the break.
Hi.
Hello. What's the nicest thing a parent has said to you?
You're special. I love you. I love you.
What about your teachers?
I'm proud of you and I'm glad that you tried. That's a really good job. That was really impressive.
Make me smile.
You can do great things.
How did that make you feel?
Happy. Better about myself. Special.
I think that really helps my confidence.
It makes me just feel good.
Let's teach more love in our homes and classrooms. Visit parenting.org from Boys Town to explore our vast library of resources backed by over 100 years of experience.
Why is it important to tell somebody when they've done something good?
Because it makes you just want to keep going and be nice to other people.
For any age, any stage. Boys Town.
Welcome back. There is only one minority-owned cannabis tech company in the United States, and it is owned by a man based in the DMV. CTV News reporter Bryce Parker has the story.
You know, one of the things I always say is if we can have someone pick up a joint as opposed to picking up a pill, we did our job.
It started with recreational use in high school, but now 42-year-old Otha Smith III is paving his way as a trendsetter in the cannabis industry.
I saw how much benefit I got from cannabis, and that's what really started my journey to create Tetragram, because I noticed that given that it's been federally illegal for so long, there's not a lot of information that us as consumers or the industry as a whole can really leverage in order to make more informed decisions about the efficacy of cannabis use.
But for Smith, a 2006 accident that almost took his life propelled him into the success story he is today.
So I swerved to overcorrect, hit a guardrail, and was ejected about 30 feet from the car.
And it was during his recovery that cannabis would prove to be a game changer in his life.
So once I was released from the hospital, I was just prescribed a number of dangerous opioids and prescription pills to manage my pain. Did that for about 3 years, and that's when I said, you know, enough is enough, because we all know how nasty the side effects are with prescription pills. So I started to turn back to cannabis.
14 years later, Tetragram would launch in July of 2020. And in 2024, the app provides services for users in all 50 states.
At Tetragram, we really want to help empower not only consumers to understand the benefits of cannabis, make more educated buying decisions, but when we look at it as a whole, we want healthcare to understand that this is not just a lot of people who are just, you know, looking to get high or catch a buzz.
And for those who are still skeptical, Smith says that the proof is in the data.
You have men and women in their 70s and 80s that are visiting these dispensaries and finding a lot of relief with it. So showing you that data will help compel you to say, wow, this is not something that just, you know, teenagers or young adults are using to have fun, but there's a real intention behind these purchases.
Bryce Parker, CTV News.
The Maryland Public Service Commission denies more than half of PEPCO's rate increase requests. In May of 2023, PEPCO submitted a multi-year rate plan requesting $116 million for the first year, with the increase reaching $213 million by the end of 2027. Instead, the commission authorized a rate increase of only $44 million for 1 year only. That means customers would see an increase of $5.72 each month on their electric bills.
Staffing shortages at a state lab testing unit contributed to the mishandling of more than $8 million in checks, according to the Maryland Department of Health. A recent audit discovered that checks received by the lab were not handled correctly, nor was more than $460,000 of debt. The health agency says one reason for this is the almost 14% of positions of the administration are vacant. Despite the checks being mishandled, the audit says collections were deposited intact.
Well, if you have been missing our pet of the week and our furry friends from the county's animal shelter, the wait is now over. The shelter is scheduled to reopen this Friday. It was temporarily closed due to an outbreak of a respiratory disease known as strep zoo that only affected a small group of dogs. Luckily, staff were able to act fast before the disease could continue to spread. All dog adoptions and applications will resume on Friday. Owner surrender appointments will remain suspended.
For the first time in state pageant history, a trans woman has been crowned Miss Maryland. 31-year-old Bailey Ann Kennedy is also the oldest contestant to be Miss Maryland, as this is the first time the pageant is allowing women over the age of 28 to compete. Kennedy says she hopes her win will open up hearts and doors for many people from the LGBT community. And after the break, Simon Buggs is here with our Wednesday sports page.
And he has some Summer League basketball highlights for us. Simon?
Hey everyone, and coming up in sports, I've got some highlights for you from the Bishop McNamara versus Clinton Grace High School Summer League basketball game, and 4 Terps are selected to represent their country. Stay tuned.
Purina helps create safe spaces for domestic abuse survivors and their pets. Purina cares here.
Did you know that Asian and Pacific Islander American students often face broad challenges when it comes to accessing higher education? Financial barriers and language barriers can make pursuing a college degree seem impossible. The Asian American stereotype of a monolithic middle-class, high-achieving group is just that, a stereotype. But that's where APIA Scholars comes in. For the last 20 years, APIA Scholars has been helping students overcome these challenges and achieve their dreams of obtaining a college education. APIA Scholars has awarded over 8,000 scholarships, with 73% of them going to first-generation students, 60% of those living below the poverty line. APIA Scholars is empowering the next generation of APIA leaders. I'm proud to support APIA Scholars in their mission to make college more accessible to APIA students. Will you join me? Visit apiascholars.org to learn more about how you can make a difference in the lives of APIA students.
All right, everyone, it's time for your Wednesday sports page. We start first with some high school basketball news. Summer League basketball continued yesterday, and this time Bishop McNamara High School took the court against Clinton Grace. Starting with the first half, the Mustangs were able to build a lead on the Eagles thanks to made baskets such as this lob from guard Prince Alexander Moody to Brandon Woodard, as well as this and-one transition layup from forward Jordan Taylor. But the Eagles made some nice shots of their own, like this long-range jumper from guard Zoji Awinje and this fast break dunk from wing Khalib Norcom. And because of this, they were only down single digits to the Mustangs. But within the last couple of minutes of the half, the Mustangs' lead ballooned because of nice plays from McNamara, like this steal and shot from forward Jaden Mills that turned out to be an and one, as well as another and one from Alexander Moody. And now the Mustangs were up 34-24 at the end of the half. Now to the second half, Clinton Grace did score well in the second half as shots like this made jumper from number 23, Bryce Adams, this reverse layup by Awunje, and this hop step into a nice finish from Norcom helped the Eagles score 36 points. But they couldn't get enough stops as Bishop McNamara scored 32, and because of this, McNamara came away with the win, beating Clinton Grace 66-60. I caught up with assistant head coach Angelo Hernandez after the game, and he told me what he thought his squad did well during the matchup.
We shared the basketball. We played defense together, rotated well. For a young team, that's just what you want to see during the summer. You want to see guys gelling together, really sharing the ball. A lot of people touching the ball, it's just making it hype, and that's kind of what you want. During this time, we really get in the gym and start working on stuff. When everything else falls in place.
Moving on to more basketball news, some sad news out of the NBA world as it was reported that Lakers legend and Hall of Famer Jerry West has passed away in his home this morning. West, who is the NBA logo, was a 14-time All-Star, a member of the All-NBA team 12 times, and an NBA champion in 1972. After he retired, West stayed close to the game as he has held multiple front office roles with the Memphis Grizzlies, Los Angeles Lakers, Golden State Warriors, and Los Angeles Clippers. West was 86 years old. Switching gears to the NFL, Commanders fans have a lot to look forward to this upcoming season as the team has undergone many changes. And one of the changes they have made is the hiring of a new offensive coordinator and Cliff Kingsbury. With a new offensive coordinator comes a new offensive scheme, and wide receiver Terry McLaurin spoke recently and he touched on the team's new look offense.
I think he likes to really push the ball down the field. He likes to be balanced. He likes to give different looks to a defense. We're going to not try to get too much into it, but we're going to use some motion, move some guys around and things of that nature. I think for myself, I feel comfortable playing any of the positions that is asked, whether it's the slot, the outside positions, and unique part about our offense is I don't think necessarily you play the X or the Z, because depending on the formation or the hash, you can be the opposite. You could be the X, but then you're to the field, now you're the Z. So you got to really learn the entire concept and know where you're out in the field, which I think makes everybody smarter players.
Now to the world of field hockey, 4 Maryland Terps will compete on the U.S. Olympic women's field hockey team in Paris this summer. Leah Krause, Brooke Deberdine, Emma Deberdine, and Keely LePage are 4 of the 16 athletes representing the United States. In addition, current head coach Jenny Rizzo was named a provisional athlete and will travel to Paris with the team. The U.S. will open play against Argentina on July 27th. Moving on to the WNBA, you can now breathe a sigh of relief, Mystics fans, as the team won their first game of the season yesterday. Washington took down the Atlanta Dream last night, 87-68. The Mystics' next opponent will be Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky on Friday. And wrapping up sports, the Bowie Bay Sox won their series opener against the Harrisburg Senators yesterday, beating them 2-1. The two teams will take the diamond again tonight at 6:30. And that wraps up your Wednesday sports page. Simon Bugs, CTV Sports.
Thanks, Simon. Now let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be mostly cleared out. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny. We're looking at a high of 88 and a low of 68.
And Friday, it is going to be hot out there, you guys, so be prepared. We have a high of 92, but showers are expected later in the night. Saturday will be sunny with a high of 84 and a low of 63.
And now a look at our community calendar. June is Flood Awareness Month in Prince George's. The county is hosting virtual educational sessions every Thursday this month.
Tomorrow's session will focus on flood risk reduction measures. For more information, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov and search Be Flood Smart.
And that wraps up our CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us.
I think it does. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
Some say e-cigarettes aren't dangerous,
But science shows nicotine can harm teens' developing brains.
no matter how they're exposed.
Let's do an experiment to find out.
Here's a teen who won't be using e-cigarettes.
Now we need one willing to risk their brain development.
Anyone care to volunteer your kid?
Anyone?
Your kids are not an experiment. Protect them from e-cigarettes.